Godswill Akpabio and Senator Ali Ndume is something that we have seen over and over on the floor of the Senate in different forms, from the time of off the mic to the point to the time of someone wanting to say something and the person is told to on whose side are you on, from which party, and then you have someone saying something quite crucial, especially when it concerns security, national security, and the statement is shelved and possibly saved for a more private conversation. That was what we saw yesterday between Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senator Ali Ndume. But of course, later on in the evening, Senator Ali Ndume had a chance to say everything that he wants to say concerning the security situation of the country. And he actually made some revelations that any well-thinking Nigerian would pause and think over. I mean, thinking of the fact that Nigeria has only 2 functional satellites, regardless of how enormous our security challenges are, is a shocking one, especially when since these satellites have been around for over 20 years. What happens to all of the monies that we budget for security? What happens to upgrading? What happens to buying more, procuring more, especially where this is very key in terms of national security? So let me tell you a bit about this satellite thingy. Some of them are used to they're used for camera capturing, sort of. They capture areas more like surveillance cameras, hovering around a particular place, catching movements in real time. And of course, all of this is supposed to be monitored by a particular team that transmits this to the military. And then there are satellites that are meant to trace calls and doing several different things. For a country like America that has 8,500 satellites in its security shelf, Nigeria, regardless of how enormous our security challenges are, having just 2, the most populous black nation, the elephant or the giant of Africa, elephant on ant legs. That's what some persons have called it, a paradox of plenty. But then it is what it is. And of course, yesterday, Anambra State government signed a deal with a power distribution company. So we are looking forward to better power supply in Anambra State. Not also forgetting the fact that for almost 3 weeks now, some parts of the state have been cut off. Power challenges, from transformer issues to several other issues. And sometimes I ask myself, are there no regulators? Isn't there supposed to be the right way things are to be done? And if this was a country like America, tell me please, would there be power outage for more than 24 hours and then we are counting almost 3 weeks and there is no protest? Everybody, walks around with a long face and a shrug. We are used to it. We're going to be fine. Really, really sad life we have gotten so used to. But of course, so much to discuss this morning. I am Chisom Chinedu. Welcome to the Polity, and you're locked on to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Franklin Ebuka is here in the studio. Good morning, Franklin.
Good morning, Chisom. Good morning to everyone listening to us. And I have to start from where you stopped regarding what you said about the satellite we have. Of course, the number we have is quite a far cry from what it should be. But my question has been, the 2 we have we been able to optimize the usage? Those things that they do capture, do we actually use them to do what they're supposed to do?
Are they even deployed?
Exactly. So I leave that one at that very point. You mentioned that Babio and Ndume, of course, like you made reference to, they had similar incidents 2 years ago. But let me tell you one thing that happens in our legislature, whether at the federal level or at state level, which anybody who is concerned should be worried, because each time we talk about this going to bed between legislature and judiciary and executive, it does not mean that we want to see a cantankerous relationship. But each time government wants to defend such relationship, they will tell you that there is need for conviviality, harmony, for them to be able to work together. Now, these arms of government are meant to serve as a check on each other to avoid excessive use of power or abuse of power. Now, what we do see is that the executive ensures that whoever is the leader of the legislature is somebody that they are totally in sync with, so that it can become, oh yes, you are correct, you are always correct. What happened yesterday was just an exemplification of Akpabio trying to subdue voices that might reveal a whole lot, or that might say something that could be injurious to the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you know that before your motion gets to be heard on the floor of many of the bodies we have here, we call legislature, they are vetted? Like, you have a motion that you want to sponsor, be it on urgent national importance, it has to go through the speaker or the senate president or whoever is leading that very house. It needs to be vetted to know whether it's injurious to the executive or not. If it is not, then you can have it heard. If it is, they might either drop it or they amend it in a way that it will come out the way they want it. So it's quite a sad situation we have, whereby lawmakers who are supposed the representatives, the mouthpiece of the mouthpiece of the people, what they have turned to is they have turned to the vuvuzela of the executive. Now, you talked about the power company that was licensed yesterday. Of course, the power company was given a 1-year license, or what they call interim license. But I have a concern. My concern is that this very power company, First Power Company, is a subsidiary of EEDC. So it's in That's what I'm thinking. Then, you don't talk about El Rufai joining ADC officially. The first it was Atiku, and Tony said the others are going to join. So we're also looking at to see whether P2B is going to join ADC officially or whether he will still dilly-dally. Then I want to also make reference to what happened yesterday, because finally yesterday on this platform we talked about Bernard Udemezu and what has been going on between him and the State House, and we talked about what could be a way for them to resolve that impasse. And yesterday he wrote another apology letter to the speaker. On 26th, when he was given additional suspension, he was given 5 days for him to apologize. So yesterday he tendered the apology letter, and he even published it on his Facebook page. So let's now see what is going to happen, whether the House is going to reconsider on the additional punishment which was meted out to him. Then here in Anambra State too, we saw 2 incidents of security breaches in Anambra State, and I must tell you that people are worried, because if you check the social media, especially the Facebook Anambra social media environment, you see that people are asking questions, demanding that police should explain better so that people know what we are in, whether we are having a resurfacing of gunmen who are known, or it's just a minor security breach that can be dealt with so swiftness. Let me rest my case at this point.
You see, when you talk about the security situation deteriorating, social media went wild after reports emerged yesterday. Remember when I talked about the men who were kidnapped at Odebe? I think I mentioned it a few days ago.
Yeah.
Report coming to the public is that the one who was eventually taken away after a lot of money was transferred from their accounts, one escaped and one was taken away, was eventually killed. And it's really sad that Christmas is just by the corner. And you remember, it's as if whenever Christmas is by the corner, they intensify the attacks. It's like while people in the market are hustling to meet up with targets, they are hustling to meet up with targets from kidnapping. So we call on the state government to double up on the efforts. We cannot go back to Egypt, right? The state government has done a lot to bring us better security. We need the state government to intensify on that effort. I mean, we cannot be calling on people to come home. Did you see the video that was trending in Franklin? There was this song they are singing now, that Natawa village na.
Just like someone were trying to imitate the Osubila that happened last year. Last year was Osubila, but our village. So somebody's trying to replicate that, telling that Ihal is now habitable. That people can now come back to their place. In fact, I'm expecting Tony to also do the same thing. Come back to Sumu. Come back to Sumu.
Latawa village. We want people to really Lata village, but please, we don't want to be kidnapped on the Lata village.
Exactly. Unless I forget, of course, happy birthday to Tony.
I was going to get to that. You see, since you have spoiled what I planned to do, Tony,
I did not spoil anything.
Okay, Tony will still collect. So the birthday boy is in the studio. Before he came in, I was asking Franklin, your birthday holiday. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chisom Chinedu. Thank you so much, Franklin Ebuka, for the birthday wishes, and thanks to numerous. There are many people on social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. Many of them have been pouring out a number of wishes, and there are so many you cannot even respond. I appreciate all of them. Thank you so much. For me, it's just like a new year. We know definitely the 1st of January 2026 will be a new year, but for me, every 28th of November is a new year for me. It's time for reflection. It's time to look back and count your blessings. There's so many of them, and we cannot really stop appreciating the God Almighty for His mercies, for His blessings. He keeps blessing us from day to day, from time to time, from month to month, from moment to moment. It's always been Him. And then I also want to thank the people of Anambra State. But before then, good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, the good people of Southeast, and good morning, Anambra and Onitsha and Osimo, wherever you are listening to us from. It's always a pleasure. And you know what we do here. We are in the sanctuary to perfect the truth. So whenever you see any of us, you can as well address us as professors of the truth. But for some, they may think we have a lot to work out. But it's all about ensuring that everything works in this country. That's my concern. Strengthening the institutions, making sure that institutions regain their normal strength and function above individuals. I've always said this many times. And just like you said about Ndosmo, there's a way we say it in our hometown. We have our local dialect. We'll say Latawazienu, Latawazienu. Ola wasn't also, But all the same, I know definitely this December will be in a December we can really come together as a people in that area for 5 good years. We have not done so. I've not visited home for 5 years, and then so many of us have not also visited homes. And somebody the other time was saying, was this not a justice for you based on what happened at Federal High Court? Was it not justice for somebody like you? But I tell you, mercy supersedes all these things. Mercy supersedes judgment. I've always said it many times. So it's a pleasure to be here. And a lot of things happen in Anambra State, and then, yes, by the time we get talking, probably I will just share my thoughts about some of these developments and what also happened at the Senate. All these dramas, we keep following them, and we keep reviewing these dramas and stating the obvious and calling out those things people are not calling out. You're welcome.
Okay, you are definitely welcome. We're going to tell you what the front pages say on our desk this morning. Just like every other day, we have 4 newspapers, and they are the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard, the Guardian, and of course we have the Nigerian Tribune. And we'll start by telling you what the front page of the Nigerian Tribune says. A banner headline here: security emergency, lawyers, party leaders, others dissect Tinubu's directive. On page 2, the riders flush out saboteurs and government military MBF, stop recruitment of soldiers, establish state police, Bode George. I hope President walks the talk. Okorie, FG playing politics with citizens' lives, SDP's Adebayo. Cities lawyers question timing, seek clarity. Some other persons are asking. The police inspector general, Akaida Agbeitoku, said yesterday that about 11,000 police officers attached to VIPs have been called back. And the question has been, only 11,000? Because there was a projection earlier that they were up to 100,000. And looking at the fact that we have just about 0.1% of our population in the military means we have a lot of work to do in boosting our foot soldiers. But of course, we get to look at all of that and even more when we get into the analysis. You'd find the story I just read out on page 2. Country of particular concern, rebutted to lead Nigeria's side of working group with US. On page 3, gunmen abduct 24 farmers in fresh Niger attack. Another 7 in Abuja village. On page 27, they are even brave enough. They have been entering the FCT. But to think that this time around they are just, more or less marking every state in the north, just to show them that, okay, we are around though. And the government needs to show them that you don't have the higher power in this fight. All right, my administration has restored fiscal stability in 3 years. Oshun Governor is saying that on page 27. And on page 5, Nigeria's high inflation eroding incomes, driving continued poverty. That's from World Bank directors warning. IGP withdraws 11,566 police escorts from VIPs. On page 3, Jonathan Safe out of Guinea-Bissau as Nigeria, AU, ECOWAS condemns coup. On page 3, gunmen attacking Gige's convoy in Anambra, kill 1, injure policeman. On page 27.
Okay, so that very story that 11,000 plus policemen were withdrawn from VIPs. When I read it, it was with a pinch of salt. I was asking myself, does it mean that we only have 11,000 attached to this very man? Because if you are looking at the members of the National Assembly alone, of course, you can count about 2,000 policemen already attached to them. You now begin to extrapolate, go to other very important persons we have, even business gurus, big men who, by mere application, of course, they get this very man attached to them. So that this number appears to be very conservative for me, and I'm hoping that maybe in the coming days they should be able to give us a clearer figure of the actual number that was withdrawn from this very VIP, and also see how they can help us to address the insecurity we have on, especially in the underserved areas. Okay, so look at the headlines we have on other papers. Trying to look at the headline on Vanguard newspaper. Above the nameplate, the headline there says top 10 banks gross savings deposit to 33 trillion naira. The story is on page 19. The banner headline says bandits kidnap pregnant woman, 30 others in Niger FCT. The story is on page 5. It has riders. Kaduna Anglican priest dies in kidnappers' den. We are inches away from crushing banditry, Defense Minister Badaru. IGP redeploys 11,566 withdrawn police personnel to underserved communities. Then you see this very picture story. It says arrival. Guinea-Bissau, Jonathan returns as AU ECOWAS decry coup. And you see a picture story of Jonathan, in front of an aircraft that brought him and others back to Nigeria. Then another headline we have says government attack Ngiges convoy in Anambra, kill one, injure others. The story is on page 7. Renewed hope, ambassador Argon, youth leaders, others hail appointment of Uzodema. The story is on page 21. Trump, Tinubu approves membership for US Nigeria working group. The story is on page 9. And guess who leads that very team is the Nuhu Rebadu, the National Security Advisor. These are the headlines we have on Vanguard newspaper.
All right, from the Vanguard newspaper, let's see what the front page of the Punch newspaper says. And the banner headline here, Safe Schools Project stalls in 30 states as abductions rise, on page 2. And the rider states fail to release co-funding. Senate begins probe of 145 billion naira Safe Schools Fund. Ojodo confirms bandits relocation to Kogi. On page 29, Nigeria condemns Guinea-Bissau coup. Jonathan evacuated on special flight. On page 29, VIPs moved to engage NSCDC after 11,000 policemen's recall. On page 2, Ndume said something yesterday, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. Protect the FCT. And let every man drive himself. Let every man walk around on his own. Right? Protect every part of the country. And we wouldn't have elites needing trucks and trucks of police officers and military men to walk around freely at home. Do you know how sickening it is to realize that a man cannot come to a place that he calls home without being protected by other men? I mean, this is one thing that the elites, the people in charge of the security architecture of this country, really need to think about while making all of these demands. NNPCL spent 17.5 trillion naira securing fuel pipelines, others in 12 months. On page 19, non-working refineries gulp nearly 3 trillion naira, pressure mounts for audit. Business leaders reject proposed beverage tax hike. This is on page 20. The rest is an advertisement, and we won't be taking a look at that.
Interestingly, that very headline on Punch about NNPCL spending 19 trillion on pipeline protection, that tells you why Tom Polo, at every given development, he goes to the front page of the newspaper for him to do advertorial, doing congratulations, because he knows how much his company rakes in for that very pipeline protection. 19 trillion. So how much do we make from the sales of crude oil?
Tell me.
If we spend 19 trillion just to do pipeline protection and the ancillary services. Then over to the Guardian newspaper this morning, the front page headline, or rather the banner headline, which is on page 6, it says armed attacks intensify as Tinubu okays US Nigeria security plan. This one says how renewed terrorism expose old weak security underbelly. The story is on pages 4 and 5. It's an analysis, or news analysis. Reps vote on constitutional review on December 10. The story is on page 3. Of course, after the voting, the ones that scale through are going to be sent to different state house assembly for them to concur. And I must say that this is the point in time when we need to engage our lawmakers at different state level. Even for now, we have to begin from the federal level before the state, because that thing that you want them to vote yes to, this is the time for you to engage and tell the person what people are thinking. Tell the person this is our aspiration, this is our mind. So that's what let's see how they will be able to reflect that by the time they're going to vote. And I'm hoping that on that very day when they're going to vote, it's going to be a voice vote so that we know how each person gets to vote. Then this one says, IG claims 11,566 police officers withdrawn from VIPs, orders intelligence policing. The story is on page 7. Democracy under strain as fresh coup hits West Africa, draws condemnations. Check page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And just like we said yesterday, it seems like African leaders are the ones who opened the floodgate to military for them to strike. This very morning, I was going through some report and I stumbled into what is happening in Tanzania now. You know, Tanzania, where they have a female president. This woman has about 5 of her close relatives who are appointing to her government. So it's like government of my family, and for my family.
Do you want to hear what I want to say?
Okay, then this one says Nigeria's transition to multi-tier electricity market attract over $2 billion investment. The story is on page 7, and that ends the headlines we have this very morning on the front pages of newspapers.
All right, and we are going into the analysis proper this morning, and of course, as always, would start from home and starting with some of the insecurity reports we have in Anambra State. One of the ones topping the list being the attack just about 2 days ago on the convoy of a former governor of the state. Speaking about Dr. Chris Ngige, this happened along Nobi Road in Idemili North local government area, leaving one person dead and several others injured. Sources say the assailants, dressed in police and military uniforms, opened fire on the pilot vehicle, killing the policeman and carting away his rifle and uniform. So this tells us that they are changing strategy. Now they dress like security officials. What do we do? Because, Tony, this is getting scary. I saw a video yesterday. I do not know if that is a new or old video, and I don't know if any of you saw it, of a vehicle that was set ablaze, and they were saying something about it is happening live in Anambra now. So many things being said about around Abatete. I think, yeah, you must have come across that video. I cannot very really say if it's a new or old video. What exactly is happening, Tony?
You asked a very important question. What is happening? Insecurity everywhere, but remember, security is everyday business. Once you lose guard, as is being said in our local parlance, once you lose guard, these people will have opportunity to come in. And it's important, paramount, that we are in Imba period. And most times during this period, we see pressure, competition, and so many things going on. And some people will tell you that it's time for them to do what they know how to do. But if you look closely at what happened along Nobi Road, that road for quite some time seems to have been very, very quiet, no doubt. But you saw how some characters or non-government targeted the convoy of former governor, former senator representing Anambra Central, and former minister of employment and labor, or labor and employment. They targeted his vehicle and then shot at the vehicle. In fact, we are told 2 persons lost their life. One, the policeman, who they took away his rifle, his uniform, and made away with it. And then a woman who was recording the incident, who was videoing the whole thing, the woman was also killed. It's an ugly development. For me, it's a setback to the security architecture we have built so far. And we must also look inwards and find out where and how this happened. We have for some time commended Agone Chamber for their effort, especially when they busted that very camp, the last they busted, where the killers of Dr. Chike Akunyili and those who were supposedly, robbing villages, doing quite a lot of things when they were apprehended. The confessions they made, we commended Agone Chamber for that, and other camps they have busted, especially in Urumba North and Urumba South. It seems that there seems to be laxity. Security is a continuous effort. You don't lose guard. Once you lose guard, there are many apertures, many openings through which these people can come in. One can classify what happened to be a case of assassination, because it is something one can debate, or we can debate, because it was targeted at a particular person. But unfortunately, they never knew that the Honorable Minister was not in that convoy. But we are told that the convoy had visited mechanic workshops where it had, the cars or the cars in the fleet had gone for servicing, routine servicing. And when it was coming out in form of convoy. I mean, not just one vehicle. But they now came from nowhere, opened fire. So, two things are involved. One, a case of assassination, and also a case of unknown gunmen, which we know they operate randomly, and they have some kind of people they target, either politicians, those who work for government, or those who, for whatever reason, they have grievance against. But judging by what had happened, I think it's a kind of a flashpoint that we don't need to lose guard. There was a time along Nobi, in Sofia, Ekulobia Road, they tried something of such nature, but they were gunned down. Other times we've had before what happened yesterday, they were gunned down, they were apprehended. So, but now we saw what happened yesterday, where they were not gunned down. Rather, they had the upper hand, killing the young woman and at the same time, one of the policemen. So, it tells us that we don't need to lose guard. We asked this question because Agone Chamber, we have said this many times, if not for them, this state may have been overrun by these men. So we gave them kudos, but that is very important. What happened? Because we don't want what happened to repeat itself, because it's going to foster that kind of fear in people, because many people are coming out now. They are moving around. In fact, some are coming from distant places at night, driving at night, and we've never recorded such incidents. Not that we don't have pockets of security breaches, which is normal, but the point remains that this case of unknown gunmen is a setback, but something must be done. It is incumbent on the security outfit Agone Chamber Operation Udugachi to fish out those who must have made this. They may have crossed the borders, they may have run to Imo State, or they may have run to Enugu State, or wherever they may have run to, or even Asaba, as the case may be, but they must mount their manhunts. Along that road, I usually, when I used to ply that road, I have always observed heavy presence of this security outfit. In fact, the moment or the period or the time I applied that road, it had always been quiet. I'm talking about Nobi Road. But for what happened yesterday, it's a setback, and it must not just investigated. There must be a manhunt against those who may have committed that.
Now, okay, let me add something. So Tony, because what I want to add is, I've taken my time to make inquiries about the one that happened at Ezo Walabatete Road, because it happened the same day the one that happened at Umoji Road happened. So I'm trying to fathom if there is a coincidence. Maybe the ones who operated at Ezo Walabatete Road, on their way going to wherever they were going to, they ran into the convoy, and as usual, whenever they see convoy, of course they have to open fire on that very convoy. I'm thinking in that very way. Then the one that happened at Abatete Road, because for me I had to make some other inquiries to talk to people who are around there, and I was told that one happened close to Nkwabaja. That's one man they call Africa in that very area. So it happened close to in front of his house where the thing happened. And from what
this is a recent development
on Wednesday, yeah, and from what I was told, some policemen, specifically Spark, these anti-court people, they were on that very road, and they were doing their usual. And when I say usual, collecting money from motorists, and that was how this very guy struck. and engaged them in a gun duel. God so kind, of course, none of the policemen, lost a life or what have you not. Them, I now learned that later police deployed to go for a manhunt after these very guys. And in the course of doing that, they traced them to that no be Umoji Road.
Yeah.
And that was where that very incident that happened to the convoy of Gige happened.
Could it be the same people?
Exactly.
That's the case.
It could be the same people.
It could be the same people, for whatever reason. So the most important thing is they must be caught because they pose danger to the society. Once they're done with one operation, they're planning for the next, and allowing them to move around is a problem.
Absolutely.
So I'll pray, because that's why these security roadblocks becomes important. Because once they approach a roadblock, what they usually do is they try to turn in a speedy manner. Once they try to turn in a speedy manner, the security operatives will open fire on them, knowing very well that they are the people. So, but by the time we start seeing many roadblocks, some of us will start complaining, saying, why are these roadblocks? But they are there to collect money. But I understand this trend. Roadblocks is not a toll gate. We must make this known to security operatives. People are not against roadblocks. They're against it when it becomes a toll gate. It becomes a means of tolling. We know very well most times they may be friendly about the tolling. They may not be more like enforcing it or aggressive. Most times they will say, find us something. Anything for us. Anything for the boys. As a way of trying to tell you can as well appreciate us. But some will tell you that even anything for the boys, they don't like it. But remember, these people, many of them, they are putting their lives in the line. Absolutely. So if there is any way we can appreciate them, we can as well appreciate them. But trying to enforce any toll is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. But we would also want presence of this toll, because once you are traveling in a particular road like that, once you're traveling on a particular road like that, once you see such presence of security, it gives you confidence. There is this confidence, that this is a sense of confidence you have that you are safe. So the truth is, we are in Ember period, and we know what is associated with the Ember period in this climb. People want to make it so fast. There's this make it or try to have it so quick syndrome. So we must double the vigilance.
Now, Tony, some persons have said, I've read the messages of some person. They said, I told you guys. And I'm trying to unravel the circumstances surrounding the very security breaches.
Some persons linking it to the conviction of
So what does this development speak to? Is it an incident laden with messages? Or we can put this in the realm of the normal security breaches that can happen in any place or in any state?
The truth remains, we have had security breaches along different states. But look at what happened last week, Thursday, where the leader of IPOB was convicted. And since that period, for over a week, we didn't hear any major security breach, because one had expected it to be immediately. I traveled to Imo State on Friday last week. And while I was on the road, I was thinking that the conviction of the IPOB leader yesterday could enforce some miscreants to unleash mayhem. But it happens that there was no such.
Do you think our people are beginning to understand that the violence and destruction is to our own disadvantage?
Definitely. These are criminals. No doubt. Nobody's supporting them. There are criminals making use of the advantage or trying to hide under the banner of agitation. They are criminals. They are not even the real agitators.
Okay.
But the truth remains that we will not give room for any criminal to hide under any guise, whatever. So it's important we tighten every loophole. That's what I'm preaching here. Because we would want presence of these security men, Agone Chamber. Let them mount blocks. I don't mind, but I'm saying don't enforce toll. Let them mount blocks. We know the period we are in, and they are criminals. Some will come from, some will come from Asaba, some will come from Enugu, because they know very well that in Anambra State there are movements of goods and services.
A lot of money also exchanging hands. Now, do you also think that this is the time that we possibly should be looking at better incentives for security officials we put out on the field? Maybe some sort of Christmas bonus, a better Christmas package. We're still looking at the fact that there is need to increase what they earn. But for this period that we expect them to do their absolute best and even work more than they used to make sure that the state is safe. Do you propose any sort of incentive to back that up?
I have always proposed that. That's the reason I have always called for state police. If they are all converted into state policing system, they will have pension, they will have gratuity, they will have different entitlements. They will go for more training, they will be properly equipped with arms, and they will also have prosecutorial power. They would be in different communities. They will, you feel their presence. So remember, even with little being given so far, they have done so much, and you can imagine when they are being given as much Nigerian police are given. And I must tell you, these people, I don't know, I don't want to underrate anybody. I don't want to underrate even the Nigerian police, but they do more work. They go to bushes, they come bushes. You can imagine, and they show presence. Most times Nigerian police is where kind of a classified, or let me put it, an elitist policing system.
I wish.
That's the kind of, it is not local in any sense for me.
Maybe not as grassroots as it should be,
but
there's nothing elite about it.
What I mean elite is same as when you come, you'll be asked, go and get this, fuel our vehicle, do this for us, and won't come there, you come, bring the suspect, So they will shift every responsibility down to you, down to your throat, forces down to your throat. Without it is elitist, and they serve the politicians more. They give them more attention. In fact, their presence is where there is money. So everything about them is elitist. So when I say elitist, I understand it from that concept. But the truth remains that we have said many times that policing is local. Absolutely. In fact, one situation where in my hometown or Sumo, you will see them move around. You will see them because they will know foreigner who entered into a village. If every town in Anambra State, we have 179 towns, especially in those rural areas, if they have not less than 30 or 20 or 15 policemen in that very village, moving around, well equipped, well
well paid,
well kitted, well paid, moving around, doing their thing, and with proper training, don't you think that there will be less ungoverned spaces or unpoliced spaces? Don't you think so? So we know what to do.
So let me quickly add, because something troubled me yesterday, because regarding these two incidents we're talking about, we got to know about the one that happened at Umoji through a former aide to the former governor. The police did not report that. Then the one that happened at Abatete, the videos were flying everywhere. People were asking questions whether they are recent videos or
old videos. Yes.
Police kept mum until people began to put out the names or supposed names of officers who were involved in the incident. Now, as I'm speaking to you now, if you go to social media, you will see names of police officers. Okay, let me say supposed names of police officers who were mentioned to be the ones who were attacked. And there are claims on social media that guns were snatched away from these very police officers.
Yes,
and police has not spoken to that. So I just hope that police will be able to give us a good statement that will be able to address these very insinuations and claims we have on social media. Let's know what it is and what it is not.
All right, absolutely. We need to know the truth, as much as a lot of things are often shrouded in secrecy as long as Nigeria is concerned. But hopefully, we are hoping that in the coming days, the true situation of things would be made known to the public. We're going to take a commercial break right now. When we come back, we're going to take some more look at developments in Anambra State. Honorable Bernard Udemizwe, the representative at the State House of Assembly for Ayamelum constituency, has put out a fresh apology. As a matter of fact, in about a few minutes ago, he posted a video on his knees. I'm going to play the audio when we come back from this break. Do stay.
You're listening to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You are invited to a public lecture based on the recognitions of the work, in the light of truth, the grand message. On the topic, the divine will, free will, who is in control, on Sunday, November 30th, 2025 at 3 p.m. at the Grace Center on Onitsha, Olebo Layout, opposite Army Gate along Enu Asaba Express Road, Onitsha. For inquiries, 08033218274. Announcer Alexander Benha Publishing Company.
When the city sleeps, the river remembers. When the drums call, Onitsha awakens. This December, the call grows louder as Udala Radio joins forces with the Golibe Festival 2025. From December 2016 New Year's Day, the heartbeat of the East comes alive. Music, laughter, art, culture, and the unstoppable joy of homecoming. This year promises more energy, more color, more connection. A festival for every proud son and daughter of Igbo land. Stay tuned to Udala Radio, your front row seat to the celebration that never fades. Golibe Festival 2025. Exclusive media support by Udala Radio. It's not just a festival, it's who we are.
Ụwa ezughị oke o, mana dịka nwa afọ Naija nwoke maọbụ nwaanyị ebe ugbu a, ị kwesịrị ime onye na-akpọ gị n'ekwentị. Ohere na-abịa so naanị otu ugboro, mana nke bụ ezigbo ajụjụ dị na ya bụ ị ga-adịkwa na njikere. Ekwekwala ka ohere ọzọ ganarị. Lee anya otu kọlụ ziri ezi nwere ike ịgbanwe ndụ gị. Tinye Truecaller app n'ekwentị gị tata, mara onye na-akpọ gị, hụ na ịtụfughị ohere ịnweta otu kọlụ ahụ nwere ike ịgbanwe ihe niile. Truecaller, za ezigbo oku.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
So a day before yesterday, Bernard Udemezwe, the House member representing Anambra Ayamelum constituency, was sanctioned the second time, slammed with another 3-month suspension, following what happened at the floor of the plenary the day that His Excellency Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo presented his 2026 budget, or the state's 2026 budget, before the State House of Assembly. Of course, since all of that started, Bernard has been trying to explain himself in the most sarcastic way ever. Yes, that's unfortunately what we've seen. So first, about 17 hours ago, he took to his Facebook, which has been like his most convenient means of communicating, to put out another letter of apology. This is different from the one that he put out on the 22nd. This one is dated 27th of 11th, 2025. That means he put it out yesterday. He said, I, Honorable Abuchi Demizwe, member representing Ayamelum constituency, acknowledged my colleague's dissatisfaction with my previous letter of apology, as my intention seems to have been misperceived. I never meant to insult or demean the House. I still hold the 8th and her leadership in high esteem. The 8th Assembly and her leadership in high esteem, and I want the brotherly love that existed among members of the 8th Assembly to be retained while we round up our tenure in the next 1 year and 6 months. Again, accept my apologies to the 8th Assembly. Let love lead. Yours faithfully, Honorable Abuchi Demizwe, member representing Ayamelum constituency, Anambra State House of Assembly. And now this, he said, the caption, he said, for the interest of peace and my dear constituents in the Ayamelum, 27th of 11th, 2025, Kambiakwano. Then he put out another post, this one with a picture of himself during his NYSC days. It's quite a lengthy one, but I'll tell you what he said in just
maybe if we can check the one he posted 1 hour ago.
The one he posted 1 hour ago, the caption is different from the caption of this one I am talking about.
Okay,
because in this one he said,
can I read the one he posted 1 hour ago?
Hold on a second.
All right.
You know, yesterday Tony was saying he would have expected him to go to court, right? He said, I didn't apologize within 5 days in August because I opted to diligently serve the 3-month suspension. Tony raised the question why he did not apologize within the time frame he was given to apologize earlier. He said he just wanted to serve the suspension, but that didn't stop me from apologizing to the leadership of the House because I know belief say me and them get problem. Again, he said, if I go to court, I will likely win, but I don't want to challenge the Speaker's decision. I have a lot of respect for the House as an institution, and that's why it pains me when some powerful persons disrespect the House. He's the Speaker, and as such I will always respect him and the leadership of the House. I find this very contradictory because for the past few months he's been putting a lot of contradictory posts out and captions opposite of what he said. All right, so he said he could have fought a lot, but he didn't. And then he put out a video. I said I was going to play you the audio of this video, so I'll do just that. You hear for yourselves what Bernard said. This is what the video says. So this is all he said. It was just a video of himself kneeling down, gesturing, saying something, and the song playing at the background. Then he went to his caption and said, "Government is powerful. They brought me to my knees. I couldn't do away with the music, but the summary is that Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues should please accept my apologies. The House is an institution that should be too formal to be used to settle individual differences or emotional dissatisfaction. I am deeply sorry, but APGA-led Anambra State government should use Aya Melum's money to build Obo Family Bridge for us. You view the new ambience of that APGA spelling, humility. That is because he used to call APGA Opuga, and now he has written it as APGA. So he said this is because he's becoming humble. He says, if I was asking arrogantly, now I am on my knees. No vex, I am still a small boy. Yes, our tens of billions. Nevertheless, Aguleri, Nando, and Omo Road shouldn't be abandoned because election is over." Tony, over to you.
I think it's good for us to understand that in life there is a process to almost everything. I don't sit down here, prevaricate, and then in everything everybody does in this life, you will say, if you were the person, let it happen to you. The key thing is, he has apologized and he has admitted wrong. Admission of wrong does not mean that there are things he said that are not true, or possibly by the time we start investigating it, we may not find anything out of it. Approach to everything matters. You may have a good case, you have a wrong approach to court, you will lose it immediately. Yes, you may have a good case in court, but the approach through which you try to anchor the case in court matters a lot, and definitely and in fact the court may even find you and even imprison you based on your approach. See, if you want to represent your people, if you're so passionate about your people, and some of the things you are saying, I had never heard him say that he had wanted to speak and the speaker said he would not speak. Use that flaw very well. Facebook is not Anambra State House of Assembly floor, but whatever happened on the floor, you can still relate it to your friends and followers on Facebook. The representation for your people is at the floor of the State House of Assembly, not at the floor of Facebook. Facebook could be a kind of platform you try to transmit your representation. I had expected, I want him to be back so that during the appropriation work, these things you have mentioned, lobby, representation is also lobbying. If you think it's all about activism, nobody will support your motion, nobody will be on your side, you will be alone. You go out there to lobby across party lines. That this bridge you talked about, Because there are so many communities in Anambra State that need bridge, not only Ayamelum. And government cannot do all the bridges at the same time. So
but Ayamelum needs a bridge.
No, I'm telling you, there are so many communities. Remember, Anambra State is more like a state with riverine area.
We are speaking for. Let them come and speak for themselves.
An
Ayamelum person is sitting here and telling you
he is not going to speak on Facebook. He should go back to the house and meet the appropriation committee. Once he gets to appropriation committee, lobby them, find a way to put this project, to insert this project. Yes,
ask for support and support when they ask.
Definitely, when they also ask for your own support, you support them, because it's not about Ayamelum. Why you are crying for your own? Others are also crying for their own. You support them on their own. They support you on your own. The key thing is let there be development. Let there be development. Let there be roads. The truth remains that he is talking about Ayamelum, but if you go to Anambra West is even less developed compared to Ayamelum. Yes, Anambra West is less developed.
Let the house members speak for them.
But you are saying let the house member, but they have been speaking. It's through their speeches and their effort. They got a road to Nzam, and more works are coming. They got a electrification project coming to their own, not through the way the young man has gone about it, not through the way he has cajoled everybody. If the executive does anything that is wrong, come out on the floor and speak it up. Representation is also oversight, is part of representation. You have right to oversight on what the executive, not just executive, every ministry, parastatal agency, department of government, if you spot anything that is not going well, you have to come to the floor, raise it, Mr. Speaker. You could come under a matter of urgent public importance. It could come under there are so many of these windows you can activate, and most times you follow them up, because there are some things that do happen. You go only to the floor to shout, to say something, you don't follow it up. For you transmit it on your social media. You have spoken. No, you must follow whatever you project up, and you must be of good conduct. Stop fighting. Stop abusing people. And at the same time,
can you say that inexperience influenced the way he went about trying to advance what he believed to be a good cause? Because, like you pointed out, okay, I said it yesterday that when you go to the parliament, that's a procedure.
Yeah.
It's an organized place where you cannot speak unless you are given the authority to speak. In as much as the speaker is of the equal level with you. But for the fact you have enthroned the speaker to supersede or to be the authority in that very house, you must be permitted by the speaker for you to speak. If he says sit down, in as much as you have a good thing to say, you cannot speak. You might find a way to advance your cause, find a way to ensure that is corrected, because there's a procedure, there's a pattern, the way they do their things. Now, so now that he has realized that he crossed the line in some sort, to some extent, to reasonable extent, he crossed the line. He didn't go about making his case the right way, and now he has fulfilled, let's say, 2 of the conditions given to him to fulfill. So the next thing now is, what would the house do? Would the house now rescind the additional 2 months suspension given to him,
additional 3 months,
3 months given to him without pay, or whether they are still going to allow him to serve out the additional 3 months suspension? Don't forget the first question. Do you think that inexperience counted against him? Because sometimes when you see these guys who are coming for our votes, so some person will be telling you that experience at the house counts.
It counts.
But some will tell you that it's not the experience, it's about how you go about carrying out your activity. Once you know the business of the house, you can still go there and get what belongs to your people.
I think you let me answer your question. One, inexperience has its role, because he's a first timer. He's a first timer. He's being used in the parliament. So he's the person. In fact, he went there for the first time, and they were giving orientations. There's no time that they will come. They will not be giving a crash course on how some of these things are done. But he has a bad temperament. He's somebody who is quick to anger. Probably he loses it whenever he's emotionally agitated, and he has really come to review some. In fact, he needs a counselor, somebody that would help to rehabilitate him.
Are you saying that he's damaged?
No,
that's what you're suggesting.
No. I'm thinking because when you have a kind of a disorder,
maybe a mentor.
I'm just trying to use psychological language.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Maybe go for counseling, work on his anger issues.
Yes, and that is just that. And then somebody who counsels you is somebody undertaking you on rehabilitation. It's not about those who are. And then if you have a drug issue, if you have addiction to drug, you have to also work on it.
That's not being
no, I said if
randomly anybody.
Yeah, if he has, but the thing is, he can speak for his people. Yes, but he must find a proper channel. And I asked the house, I'm not interested in all the you must do this, you must do that. Once he has shown remorse, that's what I said yesterday. I said once he has shown remorse, readmit him. He mustn't fulfill this, fulfill that, fulfill this, fulfill that. The most important thing is remorse that I've done wrong. That's why we say mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Once he has shown remorse, all those things that they were put in there in the first instance, we are some of the things to force him to. But from what you've read out and from what he has said, he has shown remorse. He should be readmitted, and it shouldn't be a sign of weakness. It should not be a sign of weakness. He should also go there. Whatever he thinks is not going right, please anchor it properly. You can still be the advocate of the people by ensuring you apply or use every window. It's not about and then
Tony, not to cut you short. Let me offer this in case he's listening or anybody who's close to him, because having worked with CSOs for some time, I got to understand how certain things are done. Do you know that there are people who are in government, because of their affiliation, they are burdened. They can't just come out and go to the media and speak. They can't just come out and go blaze like any other person. What do? Those information they have, they leak it out to the media, leak it out to CSOs, give it out to bodies that can use it to work. So if there are certain things that he have in mind and he feels burdened that if he decides to go the way he feels about it, it might put him in trouble, he should begin to work with some of these very people who can help to amplify that voice that he wants to be heard.
You can also work with the CSOs, even NGOs. There are so many people you can work with, not coming on Facebook. You will do your nose. I don't understand.
Do you know that?
When I say things about this drug, his attitude, his composition always signify that there is something. He may be under the influence.
Do you know that the state of IML that he wanted to put out for everybody to know? Do you know that he could have sponsored somebody to organize a media tour of that very area, do a documentary, use part of the constituency fund, put it out in national television for the world to see?
And another thing is, even the constituency funds that are being given, he has not also shown accountability to the people of IML. And many of them have not even got anything. He was quick to tell people how or what they usually get. But people have come to ask him, the ones given to you, how have you been? But the truth is, let's forget all these things. Let's leave the past. He's a new creation now. He has to serve his people. Just that the time, left is how many now? Because we are talking about, I think May 2027. He can do something within this period left. Stop having issues with people, especially the security, unique security outfit.
Okay, let's not.
All these people,
he must rebuild. Like
he has to.
Because for me, what we have
to rebuild.
What can help him? Because for now, while he's on this suspension, he rankled some people. He got some person offended. So by the time he gets back to the house, he has to find a way to rebuild relationship, because that is the only condition upon which he can get more for his people.
His true relationship.
For my brother, he's saying one of the things I think he needs to do is to sieve the wheat from the chaff. You see, when people start to clap for you, regardless of how you are going, you should know that you are headed for doom. My mother would always say, "Na eloko, right? Abuzona na eloko, so na ramman or something like that." I don't know if I got that said right. Yeah. But I think that was what happened with him. You have these praise singers who are more or less, I mean, which properly engaged son of Ayamelum would have time to follow you around and be hailing you. Do you understand? So I don't understand how a man representing a whole constituency would anchor his thinking on these praise singers who more or less depend on you for their daily bread. You need to have everything. So it's not about you being clapped for. The people who are clapping for you, what do they know about the right thing? Who do you listen to? Do you make enemies of the people you should listen to? That is the question at this point. So I don't know if he's listening, if he has people close to him. I think one of the things they need to tell him is to calm down for starters, and do your findings on how these things are done, international best practices. There are people in Ayamelum, credible people he can listen to. Would he go close to them and listen to them, or would he stay far, being afraid of being criticized? I think that is one thing that leads most great men to doom, the fear of criticism. And so instead of going to where you'll be uncomfortable, be criticized and be made better, you stay in your comfort zone where you have the mob cheer you on. But Ojadu Fodike, Ojabana Dikabani. I wonder what would become of his political career. It's just about a year and 6 months.
He can make a lot of difference within this period. He can build relationships. He can. The future
hopefully. And so let's go over to some more matters on our desk this morning. And it's all about security. I mean, Nigeria it's been fire everywhere. In the last couple of hours, we've had bandits kidnap 7 mourners in Abuja and 24 other people in the Niger community, including a pregnant woman. And all of these things are happening just days after we had over 300 school children kidnapped in Niger too. It was Niger, right? Yeah. We had school children kidnapped in Kebbi. We had churchgoers kidnapped in Kwara. And right after the churchgoers we are released, on terms we have not been told about, we had farm girls kidnapped in Kwara as well, about 13 of them. The point is, the north is burning. It's kidnapped here. It's like they're trying to say something. I saw a video, and it was in Hausa. And because I do not understand Hausa, I will not quote the transcription, all right, or the translation, because I cannot even vouch for that translation. But the person was alleging, he asked a very pertinent question. Do you really think that an average Fulani man would leave his cattle and go about stealing and killing?
These are jihadists, if I may use the word. You said an average Fulani man who is a real cattle rearer has no such time.
And
he has no such time.
Hold on a second, Tony. He went on to say so many things. He even indicted the government. And at this point, the question is, Mr. President has called for a risk strategy, and we've had some of these police officials withdrawn. Have they all been withdrawn? These people that have been so attached to private service, are they ready to go into the field and help the war against insurgency? And then again, looking at how equipped we are as a nation, have we got what it takes to face this war head on? This collaboration we're having with the United States, are we going to have the truth about it? And one of the most important things, the welfare of these men. These police barracks have to be put in order. The military barracks and their payment. What are we doing about those?
I think it's a complex situation. We've seen it many times, but we have known very well that we are in a state of war. I said it the other day. We are in a state of guerrilla warfare, and the marauders, they have intention. I have said many times that their abduction, kidnapping of a thing, these are ways of raising more money. They have international collaborators. They work with ISIS. They work with ISWAP. And if you look around what is going on in some of the African countries I mentioned the other day, the same set of people with the same intention. I don't want to in any way try to call out any tribe, but we know what they are in for, what they want, and what they are seeking. They want to control some territory. They want spaces, and they go all manner of ways trying to enforce that. So the kidnapping and abductions, they are offshoot of what they can do. Their own is to burn down these places, raise them down, and possibly take over. It has always been what they want. And there are so many people those in government, those in some of these institutions who are clapping for them, giving them the support, giving them the necessary information and everything they need to go all out in what they are doing. So there is this systemic agenda they have. So that's why when Mr. President declare emergency on security and other things he did, of course he has begun to understand the rhythm. Let's not play the ostrich. Before now, we try to go all out to tell the United States of America there is no Christian genocide. We have killings. These are people who are going out for scampering for resources, limited resources. They don't have. It has gone beyond scampering for resources. It's not about resource competition. We know why we got where we are. They exploited the inequality in the system.
That's the root cause of the entire thing.
There are many root causes. Lack of governance, lack of leadership, and other, primordial issues that keep dividing this country. So we can go on and itemize some of these issues, but the key thing is they have agenda. There's no doubt. At the point people said it was Islamization, this is more of taking over spaces. And they can also, that's why the senator that wanted to play the video, Ababe said, Ababe is also good when it comes to off the mic. No, he was not the one that said off the mic, but he wanted to speak when he was not in the National Assembly. At that time he was not there. He wanted to expose. He was asked off the mic. But now a senator wanted to expose. He asked the senator off the mic. So you find out that it is more like a tradition to switch off the microphone when Nigerians should know what they should know. They will be prompted by either the leadership at that point to shut down the mic, off the mic. So the key thing is it is beyond off the mic. We are in a guerrilla warfare, and the president has appreciated that. He has taken some measures, and we want these measures to materialize. I would also want Mr. President to go on and sign many executive orders on these issues. Some state governors are not helping matter. They are not helping you, Mr. President. Some of them are complicit, and they will pose that they are helping you. They are all part of this problem we are having, and many of them are interested in the next election. So, Mr. President, you have to take the bull by the horn. You have to take that leadership decision, that decisive decisions. And the issue of this state policing we talked about, and I say, Mr. President, it's not about asking the National Assembly to do this. There are things you can also do, Mr. President. You can also introduce an executive bill.
Can I add something? Because I believe that while we're trying to use force to confront the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, that there are things that if we're going to be conscious with them, these things are going to help to stifle these banditry and the terrorism groups. And the very first one is, aside what the president has directed, is he thinking about how we can go about border security? How do we collaborate with other West African nations that we share border with to ensure that we get to police these very borders? Why am I saying this? I have sat down to think about how these very armed groups, how they get their arms, considering the kind of arms they use. Sometimes they have they have gun trucks, they have machine gun, they have AK-47 rifle, they have
drones,
they have a rocket propelled launcher. Just name them. They have several magazines and some of these things cannot in any way come into the country with, okay, let me say, they cannot come in invisible.
They didn't fly in.
Do you understand? So,
they didn't miss
so it's either they come through the waterways, or they were smuggled in through the border.
And funds went through institutions for the procurement of the states.
I'm going to that very place. I was also thinking about the money they use to buy these very things, in as much as they might be procuring from the black market, but the money they use to buy these things
pass through banks,
or were they taking cash?
How can you take cash?
Which it's not possible.
How do you pay these organizations that sell to you in cash?
Which is not possible. So how are we trying to activate those security mechanisms that we have had in place but have not utilized? Take for instance.
Hold on a second, Frank. What if they take cash across the border and then transact the business from other neighboring countries?
I'll come to that. Now, I'm talking about the other security mechanism we have in place. We have NFIU that work closely with banks to monitor movement of cash. I keep keep on telling people that in this country we have mechanisms put in place to ensure that we track transactions that are carried out within banks. Do you know that if EFCC wants to nail me today, or they suspect that I'm involved in illicit deals and they want to be diligent, just give them 2 days. They'll give you a report of every bank transaction I have done from different sources. You'll be able to trace where they're coming from. But why are we not activating this very means to be able to track this thing? Then you talked about the ones who are the possibility of going across border and doing that with cash. That's where the issue of collaboration with other countries are going to help. Because if you collaborate, of course, we used to have joint task force, doing security around that Sahel region. What do you call again? That's what they will call that very area. We used to have that. That collaboration helps you. You share intelligence. But if that is in place now, I do not know whether that is still in place. So how do we get to reactivate this thing? Because for me, we keep on applying force when they strike. But until we look to
have the kind of organization
doing things that can stifle their supplies, whether finance, whether food, whether recruitment, and what have you not. Because it's good to use force, but let's look at the foundation and also begin to tackle from that very point of view.
Because just like you mentioned NFIU, we can all agree that NFIU was formally established in June 2004 under the law that created the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and it became operational in January 2005. But in 2018, a new law, the NFIU Act, reconstituted the NFIU as an independent agency domiciled in Central Bank of Nigeria, ensuring its operational autonomy apart from the EFCC. And it was through intense demand from different multilateral and international organizations that NFIU was made to be an independent body, because they keep asking, you cannot operate under EFCC. And then if you look at the core mandate and work of NFIU, they receive reports including suspicious transactions, they monitor every transaction, and threshold-based currency transaction reports from banks and also non-financial institutions and other designated reporting entities. They analyze the disclosures, how these monies came in, for what purpose these monies were meant for, the financial intelligence surrounding this money, and how this money got to, put to the knowledge of security agencies. So, just like you said, these people have infiltrated a lot of institutions, and I dare to say many of them are sleeping while some of these things are doing, and they're not just sleeping because they want to sleep, because they are sleeping because they are also part of what is going on. And you talk about NIN, the NIN. We have NIN, and we are told that you can open a bank account without the commercial bank coming to verify your residence, and it's part of the process and procedures of having a bank account. But these people will dangle their account, ask you to pay into such account. These days it has always been cash during these of their abductions. These days they make use of POS, and that's more reason why
some of them even asking cryptocurrency so that it cannot be
traced. That's what I'm saying.
But again, sorry to butt in there, Tony, I don't mean to take words out of your mouth. When you mentioned NIN, I recalled a story I saw a few days ago. A call member who bought a SIM card, I think February this year, and was arrested, saying that a kidnapper had used that number to carry out a kidnap in 2024. I saw a picture of the call member and Omoyele Shore in the tweet where I saw it, and I was asking myself, what is the integrity of this NIN SIM linkage system, where we still have people these telecommunication companies recycling these numbers? How do we trace no integrity if we keep having these recycles?
I think that is one of the things we must fix, because the purpose, the idea behind NIN is being defeated. In fact, one of the ideas is to use it to fight crime and criminalities.
Yes,
that's one of the ideas, but it's being defeated completely because of institutional failures. It is expected that if you are using a NIN that is not properly linked, a number that is not properly linked to your NIM, it should be disconnected. And from time to time, you have such agency, Nigerian Information Management Commission, trying to find out if the number you are using is actually yours. many of them don't even do that. They have everything it takes to disconnect people who are into crime, but that is not being utilized. And most times, do you know that for you to use someone's number, a registered number, is a criminal offense? How many times have we seen people arrested for using numbers that they are not theirs? There are ways they can be, arrested by throwing a bait. See, but the point remains, we have a black market where some of these things operate. What are we doing about that? Okay. But that is on another story. But the key thing is, I have said it many times, we are playing ostrich. We are not serious. We are living in denial. And some of these things seems to be well enforced in the southern part of the country. And then in the northern part of the country, because of its bucolic and rustic nature, some of this enforcement are not. It's also so during our electoral system. You find out that some laws, electoral laws, are properly, trying to be enforced here. But in the other side, see, I don't know. We must call a spade a spade. We must call out things that are not working and where they are not working and for what reason why they are not working. And heads have to roll for those who have been given the mandate to ensure that this works. See, we don't have a system that punish failure. We don't have such system in this country. We have a system that rewards failure. That is the problem.
Really sad.
And when it is so, you have institution deteriorating, going down on daily basis.
All right, we need to attend to some commercials. Once we come back, we open up the phone lines to stay.
Udala Radio, 104.7 FM.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, Opa Chichane Tosialo. Wendy's bread, Mama Papa they like Wendy's bread, Chichane Nyanduo. Wendy's bread, even children they like Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's your bachichama. Wendy's bread,
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tandy Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
Biko genti n'ọkwa dị oke mkpa eji ohere eme ka ọhaneze mata karịsịa ndị na-achọ ịzụ ụlọ ahịa na ndị na-azụ ahịa n'ahịa New Auto Spare Parts Mkpọ New Parts dị n'okpuru ọchịchị Idemili North. Mbọ ụfọdụ ndị na-agba ịghọgbu ndị mmadụ ịzụrụ ụlọ ahịa n'ụzọ iwu na-akwadoghị n'elu ụlọ ahịa alụrụ ọhụrụ n'ime ahịa ahụ. A na-adụ ọhaneze ọdụ ka ha zere onye ọbụla itinye ha n'ọnwụnwa site n'iresi ha elu ụlọ ahịa ahụ dịka ụlọ ikpe mkpegharị na-etinye ọnụ n'okwu ahụ. Emekwara ka amara na ọ bụ ndị nwe anụ ụlọ ahịa ahụ nwekwa elu ya. Ọzọkwa onye isi oche Idemili North enyekwa onye ọbụla nkwado ike ụlọ ahịa ọbụla n'elu ụlọ ahịa ahụ dị na New Parts. Ya mere kpachapụ anya maka ego gị dana na mmiri. Asịkwana na agwaghị gị agwa maka na ụkpana okpoko gburu bụ ntị chiri ya. Ndị binyere aka n'ọkwa bụ ndị landlord stroke shop allottees na BOT chairman New Auto Spare Parts Mkpọ bụ Chief Paulson Emera.
When you think of roofing, think of strength. When you think of durability, think of beauty. And when you think of all three combined, think Best Aluminium MFG Limited. At Best Aluminium, we don't just manufacture roofing sheets. We create protection, comfort, and style for your home and business. Whether you're building from scratch or repairing an old roof, we have exactly what you need. Our products include stone-coated roofing sheets, aluminum roofing sheets, and colored roofing sheets. But that's not all. We also offer residential and commercial roofing services, roof repairs, gutters, emergency roofing services, and even durable cookwares that bring quality to your kitchen. Visit us today at 30/32 Anyika Street, Awada Obosi, Anambra State, or call us right now on 0806-416-2374 or 0706-059-6203. With Best Aluminium, you're investing in peace of mind, in beauty, and in the future of your home. Because when it comes to roofing, the best choice is always Best Aluminium MFG Limited. Tomorrow's technology today.
NEPA don take light again. Wetin I fit do? Every day fuel don cost. How person wan take survive? I go cook soup today, tomorrow e go sour.
My people, why you dey stress when the sun dey your head for free? Switch to the affordable solar energy wey Wascana Solar Company dey give small businesses and homes across Naija, whether na barbing salon o, restaurant o, supermarket o, or your 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Wascana Solar get correct durable solar wey go serve you wella. No more NEPA wahala, no more expensive fuel. Let the sun power your business and home for free. And no forget o, solar fans, solar lights, everything dey available. Call Wascana Solar now for 0806 374 2374. I repeat am, 0806 374 2374, or send email to wascanasolar@gmail.com. Visit their office near Olive Relief after Marble Hill School Junction, Okpanam Road, Asaba, or Classic Line Zone 2, A4 Electrical Dealers International Market, Obosi. Wascana Solar, Okumube.
Hello, my brother.
Hello, bro. How far now?
Adele, waiting this up now.
Now my tenants, they won't finish me. They know they pay rent. Wahala every day. Papa, the way you get supposed to give me joy. You don't want wahala.
Yeah, my brother. You need to upgrade to A sharply.
Guy, another agent I beg, I don't want. Agent that they wahala na 5 and 6.
Sure, you never try Asoj Assets now. The best firm in property management. See, since I carry my houses, give them. Nah, so I they enjoy peace of mind like this. Them they handle rent collection, tenant screening, maintenance, everything. I just they relax, they watch my investment, they grow like this.
You know me now. You mean I avoid all these shifting with tenants?
Now, correct. Asoj Assets go manage all your property worries. Them they professional, transparent, and reliable.
My friend, will you get out? Now see finish the cost of this nonsense. No worry. Asoj Assets they come. Una go soon hear out.
Why stress when Asoj Assets will run am for you? For property management, tenant services, and real estate solutions, call Asoj Assets today on 0904 0422 240 or 0906 8205 058, or visit our office at number 8 Niger Drive, GRA Onitsha, Anambra State. Forget your from house agent and trust the experts at Asoj Assets for your peace of mind. Asoj Assets, managing property, multiplying value. When the city sleeps, the river remembers. When the drums call, Onitsha awakens. This December, the call grows louder as Udala Radio joins forces with the Golibe Festival 2025. From December 2016 New Year's Day, the heartbeat of the East comes alive. Music, laughter, art, culture, and the unstoppable joy of homecoming. This year promises more energy, more color, more connection. A festival for every proud son and daughter of Igbo land. Stay tuned to Udala Radio, your front row seat to the celebration that never fades. Golibe Festival 2025. Exclusive media support by Udala Radio. It's not just a festival, it's who we are.
You're listening to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic. You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
It's absolutely your time to get involved. Put a call across to 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. You have 2 minutes or less than that. Let's do a minute 30 seconds because we're almost certainly out of time. Be as objective as possible. Let's not waste time on formalities and go straight to the point. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chisom.
Good morning. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Good morning to the team. This is Engineer Jugo calling from Oka.
Go ahead.
Dr. Tony should give some accolades to all these personnel while addressing their issues. Backing up from the time of Natasha Abodi. You didn't give him a chance. You didn't give her a chance. Saying she can't find the institution. Somebody that fought through a sitting governor in a sitting government national government. He emerged as senator. As senator, he didn't give her a chance. But she fought her way through and was restored. If she was listening to Tony, she would have given up before trying. Coming back to the young man in the National State Assembly, yes, he's hearing to stand out. Nothing else. To be a political observer, true. There's nothing else. But he should understand. Odogu is the hero that tends to stand out. There's no sin he committed. The sin is daring to stand out to oppose it. The governor has returned. So he will be at the front. But he's still passive. He shouldn't always bring him back. He's a child. He's somebody that fought opposition there. Fought Apoga sitting government and emerged as a state assembly member. So you should give him that respect, not always saying he's a child. Where are those that are there and all years that he fought through and emerged? So you give him the courage. The young man, he's a hero. Yes.
All right, I have to let you go at this point. We don't have so much time. You think he deserves some accolades? Hello, good morning. Is that the way to fight, even if you have to fight? Good morning.
Olisa Mbeki and the Franklin. Very good morning to you all.
Welcome. Go ahead. Let's do this in 30 seconds.
Joining you from
Go ahead, please, Chidi.
Yes, about the young man, the legislator, I think he has learned his lesson, and there is a need to reconcile them. And I want the legislator to just allow him to represent his own people. The mistake has been done, and the lesson has been learned. Now that he has apologized, I think he has shown enough remorse for his action. All of us condemn his action. There is a rule of engagement in every matter, and they have to be accustomed to that rule of engagement. Everything is not about Kibo and Zomo. I know that he's a young man. All that happened is just a youthful exuberance. Most of the time when we talk of the experiences, some people don't understand what experience can earn you. There is a need for you to gather experience, but you can get it when you humble yourself and you learn from other people who have that experience. And that is why the youth of this day, anytime they want to talk, they will tell you that the old people are not needed. How can you say that? You have to tap from the experience to be stronger and to be wiser. You have to tap from somebody who has built experience for over years. And that is exactly what is lacking in that young man. But I know that he has a future. The age is on his side. And also the opportunity is open for him. And I don't want him to misuse that opportunity to destroy his political career. This is just the beginning of the journey. And all of us, we have to pardon him for the mistake he has done. Let the legislators allow him to represent his people. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Are you there? You should try to reconnect. 08032216973. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Could you please be a little bit louder?
Okay, this is Akamere.
Go ahead, Akamere.
And Akamere is calling from Fegi.
Let's hear you.
My speaker, thank you so much. The way you analyze this morning. There's one question Franklin asked you, which you didn't answer. He said, now he has fulfilled those conditions. What will the House do now? Would they call him back, or what are they going to do now? So concerning the insecurity in the country, I know this arrangement they are doing as if they are doing things, they are getting things done, is because of this Trump threat. So if this thing will continue, let them continue and fix this place, because I know Nigerian government can fix this insecurity of a thing. But because of what they are getting, that's why they allow things to be going on, and masses are being killed on daily basis. So my speaker, please, that question.
Okay. So he asked you if I was just wondering. Tony is not a member of the House, so how is he supposed to know?
I will know. I'll give him the answer.
Good morning.
He's 6.
Good morning.
Go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's me, Jide, calling from Umbo.
Your name is?
Jide, calling from Umbo.
Welcome, Jide. Let's hear you.
Yeah. The truth is that I keep on saying we are not serious in this country when it comes to fighting insecurity. These are business ventures. This is one of the phrases they use to phone our money. You understand? That's why I keep on saying it. We need the external force from. Even though I might be listening, I'm not be too straightforward about it, because we need the external force here to help us. Because this is our economy. The president might be seen alone on this. He might want to fight terrorism, but what about the state governors? What about the local government chairman of those states? You understand? Look at what they are doing. They are just trying to use us. They are just trying to manipulate Nigeria. They are stealing that money. Okay, where all these and gumbo, where are they coming from? Are they coming from the waters or from the air or from the sea? Even the NFIU, they are not doing anything. This one are very corrupt. I'm telling you, and I have to think Mr. Speaker for his I refer to Mr. Speaker so much on this thing. Thank you.
All right then. Thank you for your contribution. Hello there.
Come there. I want to I'm calling you from Onitsha. Can I go?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Talking about the insecurity in the country. Let me tell you the truth. The IGP and the president, they are not serious. I must tell you the truth. How many times in this country has the president ordered the IGP to stop policemen from collecting tools for motorists on the road? Have that order obeyed? Now they are saying that they have withdrawn all the security aids to VIP to the number of about 11,000. Who are they trying to eat? They're not serious with security. Let me tell you this. These people are not serious. What it is not affecting them, they are not interested. The only thing that seems to be making them maybe to act or to show some actions is the threat by the US government to invade Nigeria. That is the only thing. Now come to the military here. The same military here. What they do? The same military. You see policemen collecting money from taking people. And if you see the intelligence they deploy in collecting that money, you will marvel. In fact, if such intelligence is deployed in fighting crime, I think we will be getting some results. If you pay money, they will give you a code for Keke people.
They give numbers. You are number 7. You are number 8.
So that by the time you come, you now mention that they will know that they have collected money from you. You see that intelligence just to collect money. So they are not serious in this country. Let us tell ourselves the truth.
Okay.
These people can be deployed to Kwara or Zamfara. Let them go there and fight bandits. Let them stop certain people.
All right, your point has been quite noted. We take one more call and then head off to Facebook. Our handle is Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
That my regards to Mr. Speaker Mbeki.
You're welcome.
Franklin.
You're welcome.
Monday Johnson, I'm calling in from Onitsha.
Let's make it snappy, Monday.
Mr. Speaker, because of that, you're talking about state policy. If I should paraphrase it, it should be indigenous, personnel. If you are asked to suggest on how the modus operandi or the formula the recruit should be, please, what will be your suggestion?
All right. That's been noted. Thank you. Franklin, let's do Facebook now.
Okay, so we get on our Facebook page now to see the reactions there. So we begin with the first post made by Dr. Mrs. Imolebra from Owerri State, and she says the creation of state police will not offer solutions to insecurity, but the establishment of well-organized vigilante groups at community levels. Criminal elements live and interact with people, and unless their activities are exposed, they will remain threats. If we expose them, crimes will be reduced. Policemen have not been effective in policing their communities as they shield their kids and kin. This calls for moral and ethical reorientation. Then she added some other things which I'm going to skip now because we have to manage our time. John Chukwuemeka Nwodo. Okay, he's congratulating Tony on his birthday. Then Honorable Sebastian Abiwe from Obagudma in Anirun Federal Constituency of Enugu State. He says, really, attack on the convoy of the former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chris Ngige, is highly condemnable and very unfortunate. And he said, to those that lost their lives, now it's high time some policemen or security personnel should stop using themselves as sacrificial lambs to all these politicians. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed as things unfold politically in this country. Then Cheluze Prince says he's watching from Main Market Onitsha. He says, my take on the attack on Senator Chris Ngige's convoy, when it comes to security, Udogachi and Aguna Chamber are trying, but there are some bad eggs among them. From Nnobi to Ibuku, you will see up to 5 to 6 checkpoints of Udogachi collecting money from motorists, both private and the commercial vehicles. And if you say no, or if you say you don't have, they will park you by the side and claim to search your vehicle, whereby they waste your time, keep you for up to 1 hour and what have you, not a certain vehicle. And he's saying that he posted out of experience. He even mentioned Subo area or Belemili, where each KKP person pays 100 naira before he crosses any police checkpoints. I just try to paraphrase what he posted.
You have the same issue.
So that we'll manage our time. Then going to Godswill Okoye, he says, I'm actually surprised and at the same time perplexed that those unknown gunmen achieved their mission without any interference from Aguna Chamber security operatives in those communities. That's to show no powerful security in Anambra State and Nigeria. Security in Anambra State needs to be maybe security operatives in Anambra State need to be up and doing, not only extorting money from vehicles. And then Arinze Ijimbeoye says it looks like a battle between Chisom and Tony Mbeki because of Honorable Demezu, while Chisom is fighting for her brother. Tony is trying to call a spade a spade. Was that actually
very far from it?
Okay, because I was just wondering when that
I think you're the one who needs to call a spade a spade.
All right. Christian Onyedekwa says Tony should advise everybody that will come home to be cautious because they are still around. These boys nearly killed me last Sunday. If not for one of my in-laws nearby that I called somewhere at Osumu Awidemli boundary. Then Big Bros, thank you for the congratulations to Tony. Likewise, John Chukwuemeka Nwodo, Victor Ndubisi, Raphael Egwatu, Zuki Peace. Then Ugochukwu Frank comes to say they have kidnapped a pregnant woman and all that again. But don't worry, our government is warming up for another negotiation like it's a business meeting. I read you prosecute what? Nigeria is the only place where criminals hold the nation hostage and the government brings snacks to the negotiating table. Wow. Then
that's much you can take from.
Yes, Chiluzif Prince. Okay, thank you for your post. And any other person who posted that you haven't acknowledged.
So Tony, you were about to give an answer to the question that was asked earlier.
Yeah, very important because I thought I answered the question, but probably I didn't answer it the way he had wanted. But then I said he should be readmitted. The most important thing is that he has shown remorse. But if you look at it, he was given 3 months more suspension. The House can waive it. These things are done to resolution. Somebody can move a motion that we review our position, and in so doing, they can at the same time resolve to waive it aside. So it's doable. So it is just within themselves that they can make such decisions. So I'm calling on them to see how to waive it and possibly readmit him into their fold. And for sure, I believe with what he has told us, he's going to do and abide by the rules of the House. I think that's just that. And for every other thing said here, we have said it here. One thing people should understand about police and vigilante, there are 2 different entities. Vigilantes cannot prosecute, they cannot detain. Sometimes people say, let's use the vigilante to fight this. They will still hand over. It's not just because of those you are going to arrest alive. What happens to their case? You hand them over to the police, and possibly when you hand them over to the federal police, because it's a federal entity, how would you monitor as somebody who have done so much to bring them? See, vigilante, they cannot detain. They don't have powers to detain. They don't have powers to prosecute. That's why we are saying let's collapse the vigilante system into policing system. Train them, equip them, and do the needful so that they can prosecute and serve justice.
Happy birthday to you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Cheers
and to everyone.
life.
Thank you so much.
All right then, Franklin.
I'll be quick. Two things first. The one somebody talked about, people making video when there is insecurity somewhere, just like a woman who was shot somewhere at that Umoji Nobi Road.
The one on a red polo.
Now, because this thing is this for me, if I happen to be in a place of insecurity, first thing I do is to take cover. I'll give you an example. What happened 2011 Obogonogo? We were in the shop just trading. Yes, Obogonogo. I'm from nowhere. These men came. In fact, the person I was with in that shop, he was shot because he just left the shop. He left his monster, crossed the road over to the side to go and greet somebody, and those guys shot him. The first thing we did was to take cover, to hide behind refrigerator in case bullet begin to fly. So you don't just come out, bring out your phone and begin to video. Even if you want to make video, you have to be in a position where you secure yourself first before making the video. Then second thing is about somebody who said that the president gave directive that policemen should stop collecting money. I don't think there has never been that kind of directive.
It came from the IGP.
So it has not come from the president. It's been police doing the arrangement. And on a final note, I have to borrow something from what Punch posted this very morning, and it's an extract from what P2B said. Now he said Nigeria is a challenging system, but no system transforms simply because we talk about its failures. They change when men and women with competence, courage and integrity step forward and insist on doing things differently. And all of us, why we complain about these failures in your community, do things the right way.
Streets.
If you spot your brother doing the wrong thing, report him. That's the only way we can correct the abnormalities.
Absolutely. Do your bit.